DCKO number 4 dropped yesterday, so let's talk about it. Hi, I'm Jordan the Nerd of Gold, and I want to correct two things that I've been wrong about concerning this event. So number one, earlier this week, I stated that DCKO number 4 was the final issue because for some reason, I really believed that in that moment. I don't know why, I was just wrong about that. Plain and simple, there is a 5th issue to come. Obviously, this issue did not end the story. And the other thing is, I genuinely didn't think that they were going to bring the actual absolute heroes into this event. I thought they were going to be some kind of like time clones or some kind of variation of clone, but it does appear that it was the actual absolute superheroes in this event. And I've got to say, as far as the first meeting between the Prime universe and the Absolute universe, this was not my favorite instance. I really wish they had done something different on that front. We know Scott Snyder has said that it's not really going to affect the ongoing stories that going forward with that, so I'm just like, this wasn't terribly satisfying for me as a fan, nor is I think it a good idea for the Absolute Universe since it doesn't have an effect on it. So I'm just like, why do that? I mean, it was fine as far as seeing them get to fight each other. I do think the fights were well choreographed, but just like narratively, I'm like, it was lacking a little substance there for me personally. And I do want to agree, the lack of Absolute Flash when they did show the other characters was a little bit weird. Why wasn't Wally West there? He should have been there. Green Arrow has shown up for all of like 2 pages. Like, come on. Yeah, that was weird. But as the event as a whole goes, I am liking it still, but it's not my favorite DC event by any means. It's not even my favorite event written by Scott Snyder. I think Scott's definitely written better events. Metal continues to be the high point for me on that front. And this event is very fun. I think the art is the highlight on this. The art looks fantastic every issue. It is well choreographed fight scenes. It just looks dynamic and exciting. I think that's very much the highlight of this event. And then I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I did not care for the Legion of Superheroes aspect that was at the end. Mostly because the Legion of Superheroes stuff is stuff that's been happening in stuff that's beyond this event. So you'd have had to have been reading like all the other tie-ins and lead-ups to the event. And they haven't really played much of a role in the actual event storyline. So it feels kind of odd to me to like add them into this. Not because I don't think that the Legion of Superheroes as ruled by Darkseid aren't relevant to what's going on in DC as a whole, but I just think that the event didn't utilize them well because if you're only reading the core event story, they just seem like come out of nowhere in my opinion. I don't care for that too much personally. I think Scott should have done a better job about setting them up in the actual event rather than just all the lead up and tie-in stuff to the event. That's just something about the nature of storybook or comic book storytelling that I don't care for when it happens. Other books have done it in the past, and I don't like it when other books like rely on the tie-in material too much. I think the event should stand alone by itself. I just think that's a really simple rule that event storytelling should go by on that front. And let's see. I think those are my big thoughts on this. I'm looking forward to the end of this. I think Lex Luthor taking the final shot at the end on Superman made sense, but I also feel like it was given a big moment and then we should have ended the story right there. The Legion of Superheroes stuff I don't think added anything to that moment, or we should have switched to like Lex just showing up with a big splash page of him holding all the Omega energy. I think that would have been really cool. But let me know, what are your thoughts on this? How are you feeling about this event so far? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Where are you on the spectrum?